Hello there, and welcome to this video. My name is Anthony, and in this video, I want to specifically talk about how to format books well so that they are just visually appealing and they don't give us as much work to in the process of formatting. And well, I will just begin this. I will use this as an example. This is a book that has already been written, and I'll use it as just an example of how to format a book well, whether you are an editor or whether you are a writer on the team, to make sure that the work you do is visually appealing. So the first thing that you do when you are formatting is click on depending on whatever version of Microsoft Office. In this case, we'll just be formatting using Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, and you when you open the file, just whether whether you are writing or you are editing, um, upon when you open the complete the written work, uh, you click on the page layout. Just a moment. So you click on page layout, then you click on margins. Set the margins to Office 203 default. You'll see a slight adjustment on the size, and then you click on the size. This icon for size. Still stay on page layout. Then click on F4, and from there you want to you also click on this. Click on Home, then go to the option for showing formatting features. Basically, in this case, as you can see in this case, when this one seems to have a lot of space, white space. This white space is usually brought when you, instead of pressing a page, inserting a page break, you click enter to just go to the next line, so that most writers, if you don't know how to insert page breaks, most writers tend to just press enter till they go to the next page. You should not do that, because we still end up deleting it, and it takes unnecessarily long. So make sure to remove those spaces, those unnecessary spaces. Please, to make sure your piece is appealing and goes to the next page when necessary. So just in this case, I'll just delete it, and then you go to insert, and then page break. Just click page break. It will go to the next page. As you can see, this one has this when this one is activated, this one shows formatting. This one shows the page break. So as you can see, that seems visually more appealing than having all those spaces and unnecessary spaces. And you want to remove the space for between the title and subtitle. Just click on it, and just if there is any space, basically if your work has any space for this heading or title of the book, set it to have the font size at Georgia 28. That is our preferred font. Georgia is our preferred font. 28 is the font for the title, font size, sorry. And then subtitle should have 24, Georgia 24. Georgia is, as I said again, just always make sure your work is in Georgia, unless otherwise stated in the instructions. So this one is Georgia 24. It is italics, but it's also but not bold. In this case, for example, I will this one looks, it would be better if this, including the 40 DIY projects to get started, shows as it appears on the next line instead of having it start towards the end. So now that we're done with the title, as you can see, this one looks a little more appealing. as you go, then before you go to the next step, select just select all. You just press Control and A, then click on this small box. In this case, you set the set the before the spacing. You want to set the spacing right. Before you set it at 0, then after set it at 10. Line spacing set at 1.5 lines, and then uncheck this option. Don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. Just uncheck it, and then click OK. So you can set this to be the default, so that if you're typing, you do not have to bother about this one. And when you clear formatting, it always sets it to that. So I'll just set it to that. This for all documents based on the normal format. I'll just click on it. You can choose to just select it for that specific document, depending on the circumstances. Any is fine, and then click OK. So you can see this one seemed cramped up. Let me just undo it. As you can see, this was cramped up. So when you set the space, it seems everything seems nicely spaced. So if there is more space, like for example in this instance, there is unnecessary space before that paragraph, just delete it. And then the other thing that I need to say is set the work to, or the alignment of the content needs to be it needs to be justified, and then but the alignment of the title page should be center aligned. So just first you select this all the content again, set it as justified. This lines, these lines that are same equal of equal size. And because you have this one has probably messed up the title again, so you just center this one. Just select just that section only, underline it nicely. This one, this video will not involve any editing done. I'll just focus on just formatting only. So in this case, since our show formatting feature is still enabled, we'll go out deleting these unnecessary spaces here, like these ones. Then we insert page break, so that the page starts on the next page, on a new page, brand new page. So for chapter headings, there is the correct way of putting chapter headings. Just capitalize it word. As you can see, just click on this drop down menu and capitalize it word. I like just this is the simplest way. This is the simplest approach to it. There's the other, if you know a bit of grammar, this one will need some words will need to be in small letters, and others need to be in capital letters. But just for avoidance of doubt, it's perfectly okay to put it at that. Just capitalize each word, and then there are those words, there are those things that require, there are those there are those there are those some will not necessarily require headings, sorry, capitalizing of each word, but I'll show you along the way as we go along. So in this case, because this is a table, this is a chapter one, and this section here is usually the one that usually sets the headings, and usually it's ultimately the what we use to create the table of contents. So in our case, if you have not used your word before to create any table of contents, any table of contents, for example, you will have a heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and blah blah until the end, whatever number it will display depending on the style. So in this case, because this computer has already had previous styles, so I'll reset the style using, because as you can see, this one, mine, as when it's set at default, the writer who wrote this book did not have heading 1 or stuff like that. So I'll simply fix that by resetting it on my end as I'm going through the process. When I reset it, as you can see, this shows heading one as heading one. This is a step that we could probably have done in the beginning, but you can still do it now. As you can see, after doing that, it just messed up the spacing. So I'll just select everything again and set it the spacing correct. This is 10, 1.5 lines. Don't add space, and then I'll just set it at default again. All documents. So in this case, the introduction is supposed to be heading one. It's supposed to be appear the usually the first on the first the highest level for in the table of contents. So in this case, this should be heading one. I will show you how everything adds up as we go when we are doing the table of contents. So depending on that that formatting came up, it shows in this case if it shows another font, this is how you modify it so that it shows as Georgia all the time. So you right click on it, click on modify, then set it to Georgia. Maybe sometimes it might be set the default that was set was another font. So just set it at Georgia so that whenever you click, it just shows Georgia. Then the heading is 16. We'll set it to automatically update and then set all new documents based on this template. Just check on that. Then this make sure this one is set as justified so that does not start messing up the formatting again. So just like that. And just another thing I think I forgot to mention, make sure it is also bolded. As you can see, it's bolded, and then we check again these options so that all new documents are based on this. So you will not need to be to be doing the same thing again in future projects. So sometimes it will not display properly. So you'll need to make sure to correct it as you don't leave it before that bold is shows to be correct, because after that everything else will just be smooth sail. We'll set this is correct. And then when you're setting this, because this one is still heading one, this one we set it as heading one, as you can see, just like that. Then this appears, this, for example, in our case, this can perfectly be heading two. This will be the just right below heading one. As then so we can set it as heading two. I just click on it. This one, as you can see, this one shows Times New Roman and font 18. This is a bigger font than chapter than the heading one. So you want to modify it, you just right click on it, uh, modify. Then we select our Georgia. Make sure to set this at 14. Everything should be bold. New documents based on this one. As you can see, it's just changed. And of course, we capitalize it word. It makes sense to do that. I can see the spacing has slightly been messed up, but that's not a big of a problem. We can just update everything when we are done. So after you do that, as you can see, everything just looks just fine. We don't have to do much else. Whenever a page like this, just maybe a heading like this, could make sense. This one can show in heading 2. You can put it as heading 2. Then we capitalize it word. Then we just scroll right through the content. Unless there's something that is odd, then that is when you fix it. But as you can see, unless maybe, for example, spaces like this, you just correct it. Then you just this one can be another heading too. Remove space unnecessary spaces. So make sure this one is always activated as you go through your work to make sure that the work does not have unnecessary white spaces. Remove this space. This will also be heading 2. Of course, use logic. The things that need to be heading 2 should be heading 2. If there is something that needs to be below heading 2, just leave it, because sometimes you can have heading 3, but it's not really necessary, because heading 3 does not normally appear in the table of contents. If you feel you need to include page heading 3, that is completely fine. Make sure the heading 3 is a font, maybe it's 13 or 12. Just look to just be around the same size as name or text. As I told you, the text should be Georgia 12. So for our case, I'll just use the number. A majority of them are maybe heading 2. We remove this white space. This, because this one is appearing at the end of this paragraph, of this page, we can just insert page break so that everything, so that it shows it appears on the next. Does not seem hanging. It is not left hanging at the end of the page, and the content regarding it is on the next page. So I did just that. This one is heading 2. The image is just fine. It's a good size. You can choose to just to center align this image, or you can choose to make it bigger. If that makes sense, you can adjust the size. Just make sure that it does not look pixelated after you adjust the size. As you can see, this one starts looking a little grainy as you increase the size. So make sure the image you insert, if you are writing, make sure the image is of high quality so that it does not have unnecessary problems when you resize the images. If you're editing, you are free to just find another image to replace that. If yes, another irrelevant image, or something just equivalent that will eliminate the need for that will remove that pixelation. Of course, you need to be consciously aware of what you are editing, of how you are formatting your content. For example, in this case, if for this last line, once you have all these things in check, the next thing to do is learn the many workbench plans available. You can try. This can be There can be space between this sentence and the previous paragraph, so that at least it shows there's that break. So after that, just remove this unnecessary white space. Insert page break. As you can see, then now we capitalize this one and I set it as staging 1. This is We remove this space and necessary space because this is a DIY project. Sometimes it makes sense if every project starts on a new page. So just for the sake of this project, sometimes every book will be different. If you're writing a book on just general topics, um, you might not necessarily need to have new pages for different things. But for DIY project, recipe books and stuff like that, every project it would be good if projects start on a new page, each of them. So perhaps we will just start on a new page on this one. Um, the projects the project on this, in our case, the project can be heading to. You can decide to have them in heading 1 or heading 2, depending on the nature of how you have structured the content. If there are categories, for example, in our case there are workbenches, separate workbenches, another category of maybe another category that has cap codes, workbenches. If there's a chapter, another subchapter for workbenches, That workbenches can be a chapter by itself. Then all DIY workbenches projects that can fall under that. Then when you go to cupboards itself will come as a title. This is is a is a heading one. Then all the DIY workbench cupboard projects will appear as heading two. Because for this case, it seems the writer did not categorize. Just wrote everything to in one part. Um, Option we can just go with heading one or heading two. Either is fine. There is no specific standard. Just use whatever it is makes the most sense for you, and the most sense based on the content you have written or that you are editing. You use your judgment in that case. So if you are just if you are if you're right, if it's a project about DIY recipes and stuff like that, don't put tools required or recipes or stuff like that or materials required as headings. Just leave them like that. It is perfectly okay. Just leave them like that. Even the procedure, don't put it as heading. Should not appear on any list because you'll end up creating unnecessary confusion. For bullets, we like using either the ones in lowercase, for example, or just numbers, real numbers, not these ones. So for this case, I'll just update this one to another maybe list kind of list. Be 1, 2, 3. I'll leave it as that. These spaces, we remove the unnecessary spaces. So you can just enable that. The one spaces like between paragraphs, just appear to have just small spaces, not huge and necessarily long spaces. For this one, we got the next project. This one can be the next can appear on the next page. As you can, I think you now understand why having them on a separate page makes the most sense, because every project will be likely to be long. So we just makes the most sense if it is on a different page by itself. So as mentioned, these ones don't appear in any headings or anything. So just leave them as that. Uh, these bullets, we can change them. Just use the previous ones. Don't unnecessary spaces between images. For images, for example, just we can just remove just that space and keep this. For the images, depending on the project, you can have the image at the beginning of the project. For example, if it's a recipe, it makes the most sense if you have the images at the beginning, just below the name of the title of the project, for example, in this case. But depending on because there are other projects that maybe, for example, in this case, a DIY project, we could use it in either locations. We can use it at the beginning or at the end. Maybe when somebody has read everything, they can just follow just have a look at maybe what it will turn out to be at the end, or maybe you can just give it a glimpse of what somebody will make even before they start making it, so that they either create the curiosity from the onset or or have it at the end. I, I I think either is fine. Having it at the beginning makes the most sense. Just thinking about it, because somebody might want just to make a project. For example, in our case, the project they choose create will honestly depend on how it looks. Maybe somebody might just want uh, want to get a glimpse of what they want to make even before they start reading the instructions. Most readers will probably not read all the steps. A good number of them will just read the ones that look most appealing to them. So in this case, we can just switch this switch these images, uh, copy these images to and put them at the beginning of um, of the project. Just cut, paste them to avoid the wastage of space. I could combine several images, for example, like that, and just put them as one. If you're using uh, Windows 7 and above, um, you have multiple images. Sometimes it might make more sense to just make everything to be in one as one image so that they don't appear so too cluttered. So uh, I'll just maybe in this case I'll just nip this. I'm using Windows 10, so I'll just search the snipping tool. Just find the snipping tool. If you're using Windows, either Windows 7 or Windows 10, Windows 7 and above, it will have snipping tools. So just copy everything. Just select the section, like our case in this case. As you do that, of course, make sure that the cursor, the cursor, this one, the mouse cursor is not blinking within the section, so that at least the work does not have unnecessary things within the images. So in this case, I just delete now after copying everything, I just delete all the others. Everything now appears as one image. The reader can get a good glimpse of how the project will look like even before they start uh, they start reading about it. If it's something that looks cool to them, they can go ahead with it. So I hope you get the point, and you can just delete some of them. It will depend on the circumstances, honestly, because every book will be different. One the same as the one before. At least this one is just one image, so you can just save it, put it at the beginning like that. I'll delete this one. Just this will be heading through. Of course, there should be a page break, as you can see this one. I'll leave a space that we will insert the image. Read the bullets. So you can see there are two images here. I just do the same. So projects a number of times, especially if you are showing the completed project, just show the completed project at the beginning of a project of the write-up, so that the reader can probably just know what to expect even before they start reading. So just as the before one, the one before, I will snip this section. This image. As you can see, this one just appears as one image. So basically, that is how you do it. You repeat the whole process from start to finish. Um, as you can see, it's a long book, just 12,000 words. But for the purposes of this project, this video, I'll just get to them. I will I will not repeat the whole process for every video for all the all the projects. It's 12,000 word book, so it's just a way of showing you how to go about it, how to go about formatting a book properly. So just for this project, I probably just delete this all the other projects, or just assume they don't exist. This is just an example. So assuming we are done, I'll actually just delete everything else so that so as to avoid confusion. Just select all of it. This is 103 pages. Just a moment as we select everything. Of course, when we're editing, when we're doing this credit project, you will not have this option of deleting the others there. So whether if you're editing, go through the process as you repeat the process as you edit, so that you don't have to repeat the whole process when you're done editing. If you're writing, of course, it's best to start formatting everything nicely as you write, so that there is no need to repeat. I'll leave the conclusion so that at least I show you how the process will work. So this last project, I just insert page break here, workspace, so that the work appears at the top, the conclusion title appears at the top. Then I delete these other white spaces here. And then just go back to the top. Basically, that should this gives you an idea of how a project is, how to format books. Now, when you're done formatting, then it is time to insert the table of contents. So just after the introduction, you insert space, then insert a new page, so that the title appears on a brand new page. Then references, click on references, click on table of contents. Then click on insert table of contents. Then uncheck this option for show page numbers. This should just show two levels. Of course, we did not select level 3, but for the public, just to be sure, make sure you select show two levels. And as you can see, this is how the table of contents appears. You can just write table of contents. Set this table of content title to 16. And set this one's to 14. Font size is 14. Basically, that's how you format a book. Sometimes there will be small problems. If you are not careful, there might be small problems. So in that case, it's necessary to make sure. For example, sometimes you'll find images that extend outside the margins. For example, in this case, yes, in a case like this, so you just click on grid lines. If an image seems stretched past these white lines here, this ruler here, This reload you can disable, you can enable it on this function for view. Just click on grid lines. The grid lines should show where the lines where the margins are. Like in this case, this shows like square boxes. Anything that extends beyond this page, beyond this part, will not be visible from on for example, if it's printed. So make sure it's everything, all images appear within within the text, within the margins of the when you enable red lines. You can when you insert an image, I always advise writers to use insert function. Don't just copy paste images from the internet. Make sure to use insert picture function. If not, just make sure to the image is formatted correctly. We don't want we don't want to see images that appear on one page and then the other things appear on another page. So you can just click format picture, then layout. Make sure all images are in line with text, not anything else that like these ones. Because if it appears like that, it will mess up the whole formatting. So that is basically how to format books and create table of contents. As you can see, everything now looks a little better. Looks more presentable, and I'm sure you have learned something that maybe you didn't. And just before you close, make sure to, after you're done everything, make sure the spacing is right. So you set the click at 0, then 10, 1.5, and check that. As you can see, just adjust the spacing just a little. So that is how to format books. Just after you're done, just save and submit the project. I hope you learned something, and I'm looking forward to your comments or feedback. If you need any clarification, let me know. I'll be glad to help. Thank you, and see you in the next one.